Shawn Porter, Manny Pacquiao's son.
We go right here?
Yeah, it's good. Manny Pacquiao's son just got a draw. Pro debut seemed accurate to me. I don't know. What was your?
Very accurate, very accurate. I thought he won the first 2 rounds. I thought he dropped the next 2. I was really hoping that in both those rounds that he would have some sort of spurt that would sway the judges to go his way. It didn't happen in the 3rd round, and I thought it being the 4th, he would really be able to dig in. He's got some work to do. Nothing wrong with that. But again, man, listen. When you come from a legend, you know, this is kind of the price that you have to pay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why the check is the way it looks, right?
There it is.
Right.
There it is. There it is.
Man, just recent, I feel like I've been seeing your name kind of circulating with Devin Haney's. I'm not sure really what's going on with that. I know he responded to your show in a tweet.
Yeah.
Just what's going on? What kind of response to the whole thing?
You know, I don't get FaceTime with the kid. I don't get phone calls or text messages with the kid or anything like that. From my lens, it just seems as if this new generation doesn't understand positive criticism. Doesn't understand, I'm going to talk about this on the next podcast episode anyway, but, psychologically, everybody's triggered to the negativity. Nobody sees the positivity, So I called the fight how I thought it would go. I gave every scenario that I thought was possible. Practically every scenario turned up in the fight, and it seems to me like he's mad that I thought that he was going to lose the fight. We come off of a lackluster performance against Jose Ramirez. The world felt like you had a lackluster performance, not just Shawn Porter, And then you come off of the performance that you had against Ryan Garcia. We're not going to be able to erase that loss the way that it was erased off of your record. We saw what happened. We saw the struggles. We know what a part of those struggles were. But it's like I always say, you're there to get hit. I'll tell you my game plan, but can you stop me? So he got up against somebody that, Ryan Garcia was doing what he did, but on top of that, you still was in line to get hit. In between that, he had a great fight in between those knockdowns, but he had too many moments. And again, like I said before, you chose to come into the middle of the ring with somebody who can only box you in the middle of the ring. Not smart. You were not in your right mind when that fight happened. After that fight happened, I'm on record for saying Devin beats Ryan in a rematch. I'm probably the only one that said Devin beats Ryan in the rematch. So we come off of those 2 fights, and I'm supposed to project how this fight's going to go with Brian Norman Jr. He had a good performance against Brian Norman Jr., but he's upset at how I saw the fight going, or I don't even know, The world said you was boring after the fight. Some people said you were snoozing. I didn't say that. Get mad at them, don't get mad at me. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe it's the history that we've had, knowing each other as long as we have.
Do you guys have like a history from the gyms or
just
something?
The amateurs, yeah. Oh. His dad had what was it before it became the PHPC? What was it?
IBA or something like that?
Nah, I can't even think of what his dad did. So his dad had the gym, and then my dad changed the name of the gym. Can't think of it right now. But anyway, we sparred a little bit when he was a kid. And see you later, bro. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, listen, man. At the end of the day, you gotta have good people around you, and good people around you gotta tell you the truth. And if people around you aren't telling you the truth, then those people aren't being good to you. So what it sounds to me, appreciate you. What it sounds to me is like, because we have a friendship and a history that dates back, I'm supposed to always say what you want me to. That's just not me. That's not my network. That's not my brand. And quiet as it's kept, I say things very, very politely. I say things very, very nicely. I'm politically correct in everything that I say. I don't intentionally try to hurt feelings. I don't intentionally try to make enemies. And, you know, somebody tweeted him and said, you know, this ain't the way to handle it. Especially not with me, because I handle everything with respect. So, you know, I'm going to try to answer to everything on the podcast this next podcast episode, and then just try to leave it in the background. Here's the bottom line for me. The bottom line for me is I can walk around this world, and I'm grateful to God about this. I can walk around this world without having to look behind my back everywhere I go. I don't have people hounding me, looking for me, coming after me, anything like that, because I carry myself the way that I do. And as my dad taught me, boxing is just a short period of time. Now, in this short period of time, you're going to be the greatest, but then you're going to leave all these little blemishes of hatred and, you know, dirty words and all that kind of stuff. That stuff's going to follow you after the game. And your life after the game is a lot longer than your life in. And ain't too many people that get them 30-year bids like Mayweather, like Manny, you know? And who knows if that kid's on that 30-year bid. If not, change your program, change how you speak, change how you approach situations, change how you handle situations, because, like I said, it's going to follow you.
You know, obviously Ryan's fighting Mario Barrios for a welterweight title, so we might be looking at a rematch, right, if Ryan were to do it. You know, you saw Barrios versus an older Pacquiao. You know, but like you said, Ryan's last performance, kind of like Devin.
Was shaky too, man. Was shaky too. You know, he went down early against Rolly. I don't know how many people expected that. I heard in the Rolly camp that they was preparing to do it. You know, I'm honestly, man, I know that Rolly hasn't appreciated some of the things that I've said about him in the past as well. But, you know, he's shown a decrease in his punch resistance. You know, he had a big struggle against the one guy, and then the fight got ended. Forget that kid's name. Barbosa or something. Yeah. And the fight got ended.
Man,
you know,
that guy was running through people, man.
All over him. Yeah. So, that said, man, that fight doesn't matter. You know, the next one does, and you got Mario Barrios. Mario ain't going nowhere, and Mario's gonna be prepared. So, him and his coach, they do a great job of getting prepared. I did not think they beat Manny, but at the same time, they were there, and he's always there everywhere. Everybody he fights. Mario is not an easy night.
Just big one I want to get to, Jake Paul, Anthony, literally the biggest one on the docket right now. Just, can you believe it?
I'm telling you right now, man, if this fight don't go the way everybody think it should go, everybody's gonna say that boxing's rigged. This is not good for boxing. I'm on record. This ain't good for boxing. It's not.
Why is that?
Because everybody's gonna say this fight's rigged if Jake Paul wins. You can't fathom an Olympian that did everything that Anthony has done to come up to this point in his career and lose to a YouTuber, a Disney guy, and all this and that. The kid, Jake has been boxing. He's a boxer now. He didn't get here traditionally. It is what it is. But he trains his ass off. Coach Larry Wade, I never get to see Coach Wade because he's always with Jake. Jake stays working, and when he's not working in the gym, he's working in his offices and stuff like that. He's going to be prepared. And I did hear that Anthony Joshua was training with Alexander Usyk. So I really like that. But this fight it's not designed for Jake Paul to lose. It's not. Let's keep it 100.
Meaning because of the late notice and the weight that AJ has to come to? Or?
I didn't even know there was a weight that AJ has to come to.
AJ has to be at 125 max.
This is his promotion.
225.
It's his promotion. When's the last time you see somebody do their own promotion and they lose if they didn't get knocked out? They lose if they just didn't look good. It doesn't happen. Golden Boy doesn't match up Ortiz to lose the main event. It doesn't happen. So Jake is going to pick the guy who's going to bring everybody to the stands. And with this one, if it doesn't go the way everybody expects it to go, i.e. Jake Paul wins, everybody's going to say boxing's rigged. And we're going to be digging ourselves out of a ditch. And guess who's not going to care? Jake Paul. Why would he? He wasn't birthed into this. He didn't grow up doing this like so many of us. He didn't grow up watching it like so many of us. So he's gonna get his money, he's gonna take it to the bank, and he's gonna move on to the next. And y'all can yap all y'all wanna yap about how fake it is and everything and this and that. He not gonna care. This one ain't good for boxing. Watch.
If AJ wins, it's good for boxing, or either way, it's not good for boxing.
You know, if AJ wins, Jake is not gonna look good because you're getting punched by a heavyweight boxer. So it's not gonna be good for Jake. It's not gonna be good for Jake. And you know, the boxing world's gonna say what they've been wanting to say for so long. Thank you, finally, somebody did it, so on and so forth. So.
Last one, man, to get you out of here. Just next week, it's a big one. I feel like maybe not getting a lot of attention.
Not enough. Pitbull
versus Roach, man. It's a good scrap right there in San Antonio.
I'm gonna make y'all wait for the Puerto Rico podcast for my prediction, my forecast of how the fight's gonna go. But I thought the fights in Riyadh really delivered, and people were saying that these two cards right here were two of the best cards to like practically ever be made. I don't know the history of the sport like that, but I think this one has the ability to deliver. The main event is a real main event. Roach and Pitbull. That's the co.
No, I'm saying that's the main. Roach.
Oh yeah. That's a real.
I thought you were getting.
Oh yeah. That's a real main event, and then the co-main, Ashaki and Fulton. That's the co-main, right?
I believe that's actually the second fight.
Really?
It's Janabek Lara.
Oh, Janabek and Lara.
Which is possibly TC's Crawford's next opponent.
Listen, man, Janabek is gonna push Lara. You push Lara, man, you walking into something. So, hey, we might end up getting Lara and TC. So,
Lara's kind of found this power later in his career.
I know.
Once he stopped moving, he's like, oh, I could hit a little bit.
I know. You know, you're not sucking down to get to 154 pounds anymore, and you know, you let your body grow into its natural form and stuff like that. Stuff that you had that people never knew. We saw with Devin, speed makes power. Lara's timing is like pretty much second to none. Who has better timing than Lara? Who has that style is just it's atrocious to deal with, you know? It's a nightmare, man. Janabek is Janabek, it could be a situation where that kid from Maryland, what's his name? Jared Hurd.
Oh wow.
Jared Hurd, right? And Lara. This fight could look like that. Or Janabek could get caught.
We're about to see. It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah.
Shawn,
I forgot about that one. That's going to be a great fight, too.
Yeah.
Because you know, Lara has the ability to like control that distance and then make the fight boring. I enjoy those tactical fights, those tactical wars.